What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel, Just Ask Kalisa, and of course, I'm Kalisa. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Today's video is just going to be my opinion on one of my opinions on parenthood, I guess I'll say. I want to start by saying that this is strictly my opinion, and it's not meant to offend anybody. It's just how I feel, because I'm dealing with it right now. So if you know me, you know that I've been married twice. I got married once really young, and I got married years later when I was a bit older. I am also twice divorced because neither marriage worked out for whatever reason. I won't get into that, but I had a child from each marriage. I have two girls. One will be 18 this year, and the other will be 12 this year. So I wanted to talk about child support. And it might not be what you're thinking. So everybody knows what child support is. It's supposed to be financial assistance toward the needs of a child. Now, a mom can be on child support, a dad can be on child support, it doesn't matter. The parent that does not have primary custody of the child is generally who's on child support. That is something that the courts assign, that the amount and the circumstances, the court chooses how much the parent is going to pay. They take into consideration, I guess, the normal needs of a growing child. They take into consideration health care, dental care, activities, all type of stuff. Income, the parent's income, both parents. And they come up with this number, this figure, and based on what the parents make is the number that the court decides that that parent should be paying for child support. Now, I'm sure some people feel like the amount that they get for child support is not sufficient. And 9 times out of 10 it's not, because things come up with kids every day. You know, they have things that they need that exceed the amount of child support that the other parent is receiving. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about how I feel about what child support really means and what it really is. Supporting a child is more than money. In my opinion, the money aspect of it is the least of my concern. I would much rather the fathers of my children, I would rather them be involved. I would rather them actually physically support the girls as opposed to the courts making them pay. Because I feel like, you know, some parents, when they divorce or break up, you know, there's a bitterness on both sides. The primary parent that is taking care of the child has a bitterness, and the parent that has been placed on child support has a bitterness to the whole situation, because they still have bills to pay, they still have responsibilities to take care of, and now you have the courts cutting into, you know, their income and their finances and taking that money and giving it to the other parent. So, I feel like the value of a parent actually being active in their child's life far exceeds any monetary amount that the court can make someone pay. I think that it's very important for the parent that is out of the home to be active in the child's life. Okay, so the relationship didn't work out, the marriage didn't last, but you still have this innocent child that is growing up 9 times out of 10 between more than one household. You know, they have their routine at the primary parent's house, and then they have a routine at the other parent's house. That is emotionally taxing on any child. However, if the parent outside of the home wants to be a part of the child's life, that needs to happen, whether they're paying child support or not. Now, I'm not saying that it's okay that if a parent is active, they should not have to contribute to the needs of the child. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is child support is encouragement. Child support is spending time. Child support is taking phone calls, making phone calls to see if your child is okay, what they need. Child support is letting that child know that although my relationship with your other parent didn't work out, I still got your back. I'm still here for you, because I know from experience when relationships end and then you have a parent over here, you have the other parent over here, the kid in the middle is kind of like, caught between the two. I also believe that co-parenting plays a huge role in the success of a child's mental state after a divorce or a separation. When I was divorced, the first time, my daughter was young, my oldest daughter, she was still young, and she went through that divorce, and then she went through the loss of a grandparent, a few years after that. And me and her dad never had a cordial relationship. We were never friends. We couldn't have a conversation. We couldn't sit down and talk. Even if I reached out to him to try to make our relationship stronger for her, it just never worked out. I mean, he didn't want any parts of it, and that's fine. All I know is that I did what I could do to bring us closer for her sake, not because I wanted to be his friend, not because I wanted to keep up on his life, but simply to show her that although it didn't work between the two of us, we're still here for you. It didn't work that way. And I feel like she's suffering almost in silence because she is the type that holds things inside, and for a while I would try to push and pull, hey, how you feeling? What's going on? What's on your mind? I had to stop doing that because I have my own issues with my father that I am still working through as far as our closeness. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are not the closest. We don't have the closest relationship. Sometimes we talk consistently. Sometimes we won't talk for months at a time. I've learned that that's just the relationship that we have. I love my dad with my whole heart. He means everything to me. However, neither one of us makes the effort, and I felt like for a while I was making more of a strong effort to have that relationship, but it just never stayed consistent. I'm sorry if I'm all over the place. So yeah, I tried to have a stronger relationship with my oldest daughter's father simply for her sake. I wanted him to be a part of her life. I wanted her to have what I didn't have with my dad. And unfortunately, that has not worked out. And I think she's at the point where she understands that their relationship just is what it is. She doesn't make an effort, and I don't think she should have to, but he doesn't make the effort either. So back to the financial aspect of child support. I don't believe that the court forcing you, or I guess making you pay, should take the place of what you do with and for your child as a parent. I don't feel that way. I feel like the outside parent, or the parent outside of, the primary parent's home, should know what's going on with their child. How you doing in school, or you dating, or do you need anything? It's just nice to know that that other parent is still there for you. I feel like I see, I feel like I see some anger when people are made to pay child support. I personally remember a time when I was going through, or I had gone through my first divorce, and I told my ex-husband, we can work this out without the courts being involved. I feel like both of us are mature enough to come to some type of agreement and make it work for us without the court's involvement. He wasn't having it. He didn't want to do that. He was so angry with me and bitter with me. He wanted to take the legal route. He wanted to go to the court. And what could I say? Okay, fine. I mean, if that's how you want to do it, then that's fine. But as time has gone on, that anger, resentment, and bitterness is still there. And unfortunately, it's affecting his relationship with our oldest daughter. So, my point is, as a parent, be there for your children. In the world that we live in currently, they need all the support that they can get, whether it's from their primary parent, whether it's from, the parent outside of the home, whether it's from a relative, whoever. They needed all the support that they can get. Just because your relationship with the other parent didn't work out, the children should not have to suffer. My youngest daughter's father, our divorce was not pretty. Our breakup was not pretty. But I will sit here and tell you, the level of involvement that he has with our daughter is far more than I could have expected. And I don't know why, because he was a great dad. Even though it didn't work between us, he's always been a great dad to our daughter as well as my oldest daughter. For that, I am forever grateful. They talk consistently. He checks in on my oldest daughter to see how she's doing. He was at her graduation. The fact that our relationship didn't work out never stopped him from doing what the children needed him to do. Divorce and breakup, it's hard. It's really hard. I talked to a therapist, and, I was talking to her about my children. And, at the time, my oldest daughter was having a rough time with things. And the therapist told me she's in mourning. She's mourning her losses, and she may not be able to verbally tell you how she feels. She doesn't know how to sort those feelings out within, but you have to allow her the time she needs to mourn. And I had never thought of it that way. You know what I'm saying? I felt like, why is she acting like this? Why is she, being defiant? Why is she, what's the problem? What's the problem? And after I had that conversation and actually sat back and thought about it, she lost her dad. She lost her grandmother. And although only one of those losses is a, physical loss, that loss of a relationship with her father it's still a big deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard. It's hard. And all we as parents can do is offer support. Let them know that we're there for them when they need us. We're there for them when they don't need us. Like, we have to be there. Parents that are paying child support, don't let that be, your, only responsibility, because please believe, the primary parent, the money that the court is telling you to pay the primary parent, it does not come close. Not for us regular people. And I'm not talking about, if Beyonce and Jay-Z get a divorce, how much child support she gonna get. I'm talking about regular people money. That number that the court came up with or comes up with is nowhere close to what it takes to make sure that your child is okay. It's not. You got groceries, you got school shoes and clothes and medical bills, and my youngest daughter is getting braces next week. That money does not come close to being enough to fully support that child. And with that being said, everything that you can do to help them needs to be done. It just needs to be done. Take the time to call your children. Ask them how they're doing. See if they need anything outside of, the money that you provide weekly or bi-weekly or monthly or however you're doing it. Spend time with them. Don't let them growing up, don't let it pass you by. Be aware. Be present emotionally and spiritually and physically. Be there for your children in any way that you can be. You may not make the most money. You may not have, the biggest house or the nicest car. Your kid does not care. Just to know that, hey, my mom or dad wants to hang out with me. And I know from experience in living with two girls, our opinions and views are not always the same, especially with my oldest daughter. We don't agree on, we're very similar, but we don't always agree on anything. Like, she has her views and opinions. She's very strong-minded. She's respectful, but I allow her to have her opinion, you know? But she knows that if she needs something, I'm there for her. I'm going to figure out a way to make it happen. So, in closing, I just want to let you know that your children need you. And, you know, the best thing that you can do for them and for their mental health and their emotional health is to just fucking be there. Just be there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't take much to reach out to your child. I'm 36 years old, and I would love for my dad to reach out to me more. At 36, I'm almost 40. It would mean the world to me to have my dad reach out more. I don't know if that's in his capabilities, like emotionally, or because I don't know what he goes through, because like I said, I don't reach out to him as much as I could or as much as I should. But if I had it my way, me and my father would be a lot closer. Be there for your kids. Be there for your kids. I mean, a breakup does not mean that you can't be a part of your child's. And let me just throw this in there too. When you break up with someone or divorce someone, or, you know, a relationship ends for whatever reason, don't use your child as a pawn because you're trying to get back at that other person, because you're angry with them, because you're pissed off that it didn't work out, or they cheated on you, or they left you. Don't use your child against that other parent. If they want to be there, they don't have to want to be with you to want to be with their child. Let them get out of the way, step aside, and let that parent do what they want to do as far as being active in their child's life. There's no reason for you to be in the way. It's just not. Like, I see things online, and, you know, a relationship ended, and now the mom is using the kid against the other parent, won't let the person see the child, won't let the other parent be active, and they're really fucking trying. Let them, because just because you keep the child away from them is not going to make them want you back. Like, it's not going to make them decide, you know what, well, let me go ahead and be with her. So it's not going to work, boo. Just get out the way. Get out the way and let that man or let that woman be a part of that child's life, because you interfering in that is going to affect them in the long run. You know what I'm saying? And your child will grow up and resent you for being in the way. No matter what I went through in either of my divorces or my breakups, I never badmouthed my ex-husbands to my daughters. I felt like their actions would speak enough that I don't have to say anything. I don't have to say shit, because the actions of that parent will show, and that's all. That actions definitely speak louder than words. So what am I going to waste my breath for, putting that parent down, when the child can see clearly what the other parent is or is not doing? I don't have to say anything. I don't. You know what I'm saying? I never, as angry as I was that my first ex-husband was not participating actively or effectively in our daughter's life, I never felt the need to talk down about him to her. I'm sorry. It wasn't necessary. I let her find her way in that relationship on her own, because everything that I could see, she could see. It wasn't shit for me to say. With my youngest daughter's father, hats off to you. I mean, you do the very best you can do. I see you. I see your effort, and it's much appreciated. I don't know, people. I don't know. I feel like the world is so warped and so selfish. You know what I'm saying? It's just like you lose sight of the need of the needs of the children and selfishly place your own anger and feelings and emotions in front of them and theirs, and that's not okay. So I'm gonna end this video by just saying, parents, if you are not in the home, and even if you are in the home with your child, they need you. But more so if you're outside of the home, because when that parent leaves, they're mourning your loss. They have to mourn the loss of you. Be there for your children, support your children, encourage your children, love your children. They're gonna grow up, and you know, the further away from them you are emotionally or mentally or physically, it's only going to get worse, and it's harder to strengthen that relationship at a later age. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying it's harder to do that. So be there for your children. They didn't do anything for you to not be there for them. Does that make sense? I could talk about this forever, but again, thanks a lot for stopping by. My email address is below in the description box. just.ask.kalisa@gmail.com. Feel free to shoot me an email and I will respond as soon as I'm able. I'm probably going to record another video after this one. I guess my emotions are a little turned up right now. But thanks for stopping by. I hope I was able to give you something to think about. And just remember, the kids are the most important aspect to any relationship. You know, you got to make sure that they're okay. I will definitely see you guys in the